Good afternoon, welcome back. It is Monday, May 22nd, 2023. We have a few birthdays and a few events, so let's get to those really quickly. On this date, 1988, Terry Labonte won the Winston. Nothing really spectacular happened in this race. The biggest thing was that this was the first Winston run under the tire war, first of two, as Hoosier pulled out prior to the All-Star race weekend in 1989. But they did come back in 1994. But in this race, Ricky Rudd blew a tire, hit the wall, tore some ligaments in his knee. And then Dale Earnhardt blew a tire coming to the end of one of the stages, did some damage to his car. He was able to continue. Again, pretty uneventful race. Terry just happened to be right place, right time, right setup, and took the win. 1993 on this date, Dale Earnhardt wins the Winston, the All-Star race, becoming the first driver to ever win 3 All-Star races, and he kind of snookered Mark Martin on a late race restart. Dale jumped the start to draw the caution, and then on the second attempt at the restart, he got a really good start and, basically beat Martin and the rest of the field with that. 1999, the only 2 double-digit years in the 1990s or in the 1900s that the All-Star race ran on, 88 and 99. Terry Labonte also wins in 1999. I really don't remember a lot from this race weekend, but it was Terry Labonte winning both of his All-Star races on the same date. Also on this date in 2011, stuck in the 1900s. Let's go to the 21st century here. 2011, Ricky Stenhouse wins his first career then nationwide series race at Iowa. He would sweep both Iowa races that year to go on to win his first of 2 consecutive then nationwide series titles. And on this day in 2021, Todd Gilliland and Kyle Busch respectively won the Truck and Xfinity Series races at Circuit of the Americas, the first time that NASCAR raced there. Of course, that was the monsoon race all weekend, and it was just didn't offer great racing. Cup race was, which we'll talk about tomorrow. Let's go to our birthdays. Born on this date in 1962. I thought I had a card of this guy, but I do not. I double-checked some sets. Former NHRA top fueler Blaine Johnson. Of course, Blaine tragically died in a crash, I believe it was 1996, Indianapolis Raceway Park during qualifying for the U.S. Nationals. I believe he was leading the points at the time, but Blaine was kind of one of those drivers that was just starting to make his groove and get into becoming a regular top runner. Also born on this date, 2003, current late model standout, who's been, I think this guy might get a decent ride somewhere. If he does, he'll do all right. Carson Kvapil, son of Travis Kvapil. So I've seen Carson, race some of the different series here and there. Never seen him race in person. Would like to sometime. Maybe I can catch him at Anderson or Winchester this year. So our 2 birthdays that we have cards for, we're 3 minutes in and change. Haven't showed you a card yet. Born on this date in 1970, former Truck Series racer, very briefly, Steve Portenga. And here's a picture of the truck that he ran. Don't really remember a lot about him. Let's turn that around, and you can see he didn't have a lot of success in the Truck Series. I want to say he was probably a West Series driver or a Southwest or Northwest Series driver in those lower series. Yeah, here we go. Southwest Tour champion. Had an opportunity in trucks and just didn't pan out for whatever reason. Of course, the Truck Series back at that time, still in its infancy, and was not, we weren't sure, is this going to be a permanent thing? Is this going to be a temporary thing? And of course, we know it's still going strong. And our other birthday, born on this date in 1961, longtime crew chief and tire changer, Mr. Joey Knuckles. So Joey worked for years with Robert Yates Racing and, of course, Renier Racing back when Cale drove the car. He was Davey Allison's first crew chief there in 1987. Of course, this picture's from 1990. But they ran really well together, won a few races. Don't know what happened to Joey. Don't hear a lot about him. Of course, we don't have a lot of cards. There's one of the most recent cards of him from like 95. But he worked with Ernie Irvan. He worked with, obviously would have worked with Kenny Wallace in 94. And then the other drivers there in 93 after Davey passed, so Robbie Gordon, Lake Speed as well. I think Joey was an awesome tire changer. He always whipped the air hose around. If you go back and watch some of the races from the 80s when Cale was driving the 28 car, that team had some of the best pit stops around. But Joey became crew chief when Cale left and Davey came on board. Joey became the crew chief for a while, and they won some races together. So Joey Knuckles, Carson Voppel, Blaine Johnson, and Steve Portenga all celebrating birthdays today. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video today. This has been a fun little project where I can continue to dig through boxes and boxes of cards, find some of these cards, and remember some of the events that happened in the past. So thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your Monday.